What's poppin' and Happy New Year? This is Snoop D-O-double-G and I'm with Gordon Shumway, Special Agent with the Food Safety Commission down here in Jacksonville, Florida. Today's report is on Larno Parlare, and let me tell you, it ain't looking good. They are located at 4530 St. John's Avenue, Jacksonville, Florida. The investigation found holes in the wall, a foul odor coming from the bathroom, and even dead roaches. They had flies, black mold in the ice bin. The roaches was passed out from sipping and smoking. This inspection was done on December 21st, 2023. Gordon, take it away.
And thank you very much, Snoop. I'll take it over from here. We do always appreciate your commentary on these tragic situations. You do add quite a bit of value and perspective. A very unfortunate situation here, as you just said, Snoop. 29 violations, many of them deemed critical and high priority by the state of Florida, the Department of Business and Professional Regulation, Snoop. Of course, they are the ones that did this inspection, and what they found was absolutely horrific. Snoop, here we see just a brief breakdown, some of the categories where they found violations. Snoop, almost each and every single category possible was violated here, tragically. So we see violations for approved source, violations for containers, food protection, and cross-contamination, quite a few of those. Obviously, that is resulting in food poisoning quite often, that cross-contamination, Snoop. We see violations with hand washing, unfortunately. We see violations with hand wash sinks. This is a scary one. Chemicals and toxic substances. We'll talk a little bit more about that momentarily. Don't worry. We also saw violations with the plumbing. Also, as you mentioned, Snoop, there were multiple violations with regards to the insects, rodents, and pests ordinance, and their current license was also not properly displayed. We also see a pH TCS violation along with food contact and non-food contact surfaces. We also saw the non-food contact surfaces clean ordinance being violated. Now, there were violations so numerous here, Snoop, that we actually needed to add another page here to our video, rounding out the numerous list of violations. We have a storage and handling violation, garbage violation, equipment, infrastructure violation, lighting violations, violations with regards to employees' personal belongings, and finally, other violations that did impact the sanitary and safety of the operations. Again, extremely, extremely tragic situation here. Now, as we start to look a little bit closer at this report submitted by the state, it looks a lot like a scary movie. We see here that there is a hole in the wall by the hand washing station, inexplicably. State investigators unfortunately found objectionable odors in the bathroom or other areas. It states that the employee bathroom by the back door has a strong odor coming from inside. Now, friends, I don't even want to imagine what that could be, but it seems extremely dangerous. We see a violation for an open dumpster lid. State investigators noted, Snoop, that was a repeat violation, unfortunately. Then we have outer openings not protected. So, unfortunately, the back door to this restaurant does not even fully close. Digging even deeper here into the state's report, we see violations for food not being covered. It appears that a couple pans of beef and a pan of salsa were just out in the open, not being covered. If you do visit this location, you might want to tell them, hold off on the salsa. We see violations for water leaking. A pipe for the hand wash station is leaking into a bucket. So this is a repeat violation, unfortunately, as was the violation regarding the food not being covered. So instead of fixing this pipe, they have placed a bucket, and when people wash their hands, that dirty water then goes into a bucket in the kitchen area, unfortunately, Snoop. We do see a high priority violation here involving not washing hands. Looks like an employee was seen washing dishes, dirty dishes, handling dirty dishes, and then handling clean dishes right afterwards, unfortunately. Looking a little bit deeper into this horrible situation, we see here that the investigators saw an employee wash their hands in a sink that was not a hand sink. We also see here that even if they would have chosen to use the hand sink, they would not have had access to any soap. Unfortunately, there was no soap being provided. So, friends, next time you go there, you might want to bring some sanitizer. We also see they were cited for no paper towels at that same sink. So, at that hand wash sink, no paper towels or soap, just water. Now, unfortunately, if you have dined at this location, you are not alone. Snoop, investigators found multiple flying insects in the storage area, unfortunately. They also have a violation here for packaging, and it looks like they are currently operating without a valid or up-to-date license. The license that was on display when investigators visited expired in June of this year, which was about almost 7 months ago now, unfortunately. A very serious reminder that flies do transmit various diseases, such as hepatitis and a host of other illnesses. And again, tragic that these customers were exposed to some of these things through no fault of their own. Men, women, and children. Snoop, you mentioned this when you did the introduction, and we do appreciate that. We know that this is not easy for anyone, but there were also dead roaches on the premises. As Snoop mentioned earlier, investigators could not tell if these roaches were actually deceased or simply unconscious, but they were found by state investigators there. We also see a violation for an accumulation of debris that was noted underneath the ice machine. The floor tiles were found to be missing or in disrepair. We also have an interesting food storage strategy where the cooking oil is actually sitting on the floor along with the bar mixer. State investigators noted, Snoop, that this was also a repeat violation. I know that many of you thought this time would never come, but we have actually reached the last portion of violations here. There were more to report, but we simply ran out of storage. We could not report all of the violations, but Snoop, we hope that we gave you an idea of the horrific nature of some of these atrocities. Again, it does indeed remind many of a scary movie. We see more violations here involving food storage. Unfortunately, another repeat violation. This one led to an administrative complaint with the state of Florida because it was that dangerous. Looks like there was raw beef cooked over cooked ground beef in cooler drawers. This is a scary violation. Another high priority as designated by the state where there were cleaning supplies next to cooking oil and toxic substances like cleaning supplies stored over the avocados. So friends, if you do visit this location, you might want to hold off on the guacamole. We see another violation here regarding milk that was opened and present simply did not have any sort of date marked on it. We really have no way of knowing when that milk was opened or where it came from, unfortunately, Snoop. As always, we want to thank you for tuning in. This has been another public service announcement produced and brought to you by the Food Safety Commission. Friends, we are absolutely dedicated to protecting you and your family from foodborne illnesses. We do believe that it is a right, a fundamental right, that you are able to go out and eat with your family without getting sick or dying. This inspection was completed on December 21st, 2023, as Snoop so eloquently stated earlier. This inspection number was 3326762. We always like to remind you, friends, that these inspections are performed by the Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulation, the Division of Hotels and Restaurants. We always encourage you to visit us online at foodsafetycommission.org. We also encourage you to email us. You can contact us by writing to info@foodsafetycommission.com. Once again, thank you for tuning in. This is Special Agent Gordon Shumway with the Food Safety Commission, signing out.